Okay, let's go to this guy. You ready? So first things first. These rules are all here at the top. Somebody asked for them like all together. So here they are. But the deal is this. I don't memorize them. The things that I do remember is translation always has the addition and subtraction, right? For reflection, the ones that I do attempt to remember are these two. But it's so easy if you just listen to what the words are. Reflect over the line y equals x. The y is going to be the x. Do you hear I just said that? And the same thing here. X is equal to y. The x is going to be equal to the y. And the same thing is true for this one. I don't memorize it. I read these, right? You just have to read them. They tell you exactly the y is going to be the negative x. Okay, so there's that. For rotation, yep. For rotation, I do remember that the 90 and the 270 have the switch x and y part, right? Maybe I don't want to do that as a comma. Maybe I want to do switch x like that. X and x, arrow, y. I don't know. You switch them, right? This is what I mean by switch. Okay. The one in the middle, the 180, you're just changing the signs, right? And so I say the word negate. Other than that, I'm using the quadrant rules. Okay, so if I'm in quadrant 2, I know it has to be negative then positive. So I use quadrant rules. Or quadrant signs. I don't know, I'm going to say quadrant rules, whatever. Okay, so I want to remind you that reflection orientation is not reserved, and that these only work when you're centered at the origin, so then that's why we draw a new axis when we're rotating around a weird point. Okay, here we go. So sometimes when you get all three of them at the same time, kids forget, like, wait, do I work with the points first? Do I just work with the picture first? How do I actually do each one? So I'm going to quickly give you descriptions. And then what I would do is I would tackle all the odd problems first. Does that make sense to everybody? So you get through the packet once, and then you go back through and you try to do the evens. And if you want feedback as you're working, that's fine. I also put an extra chair up here, and there's another chair down there. So people that want help more often want to come up to the front, that's cool. If you want to get away from the front, you can do that as well. But here we go. For translating, you have two options for translating. I like to just work on the grid, and I will just move each vertice or vertex. So literally, I'm looking up here, and it says x plus 5, so I know that means right 5, and then I know y minus 3 means down 2, 3. Down 3. So literally, I will take a point. I usually start with the one that's like farthest to whatever direction I'm going, and I'll just move B, 5, 3, plot. Move A, 5, 3. Does that make sense to everybody? Great. Turn the page. Okay. For reflection, make sure that you draw in the line of reflection. Remember how we did it with like a highlighter? And then for when you get to like 5 and 6, do you see how they're weird lines? I'm going to use my calculator to make sure I get the right line. And then once again, I'm counting to the line of reflection, counting the same distance on the opposite side, right? Does that make sense? Okay. The only ones that I don't do there are the ones at the bottom, which are the hardest. So for y equals x and x equals, or y equals negative x, I do use the rule here. which means I will write down where P is, for example, which is 1, -1, and then I will say to myself, self, the Y is the X. The Y is the X. The X is 1. The X is the Y. The X is the Y. You see what I just did there? And then I plot the points. It's one of the few ones that I do that for because I just can't. I can't do it in my brain the right way. I do draw in the line though, so confirm my work. Okay, one more page to talk about. Beep. And I kind of already alluded to this. When you're doing rotation on anything that's 90 or 270, right? I know that X comma Y is going to become Y comma X, but I have to then worry about the plus minus idea. You know, what quadrant am I going into? Does that make sense? Okay, plus minus. That's a plus sign, terrible. If it's 180, it's X comma Y becomes -X, -Y. So you just change your signs on the things. Okay, so that's that. If I have a weird center of rotation, I'm going to draw the new axes. Okay. So Josh, you missed that, right? Rotation. Okay, it's not hard. Maybe I'll come over and do like 11 or 12 with you. Okay. So remember to draw new axes for these. Thank you. All right. So there's that, and then then you have 4 of these to try. So once again, you do all the odds, and then like that's how you get done today. That's how you get done today. No big deal. Does that make sense? The back page is, can you look at them and figure out what the heck happened? Does that make sense? So if you might want to try these first. It doesn't matter what order you do the things in. Like, can you tell what a reflection looks like, what a rotation looks like? Then can you describe it with the right details? That's our goal for today. And then you're going to hand it on the way out the door, and there's a very short Delta Math for homework.